All right, let's dive in. Today we're going to dig deep, literally, into a technology that could totally change how we stay cool. It's called GeoCooling. And the wild part? It taps into this massive, hidden air conditioner that's been right under our feet this entire time.
You know the feeling, right? Every summer, it seems like the heat waves just drag on, and our air conditioners are working overtime. That means our electricity bills are shooting up, and so is our carbon footprint. But what if there's a better, more elegant way to handle it?
So, let's frame this choice. On one side, you've got that familiar roar of a traditional AC unit kicking on. Yeah, it works, but man, is it noisy? It just guzzles electricity and pumps out greenhouse gases. But on the other side, there's GeoCooling. We're talking silent, super efficient, and totally sustainable comfort that works with the planet, not against it.
And here's the kicker. The solution isn't some super complex, futuristic gadget from a sci-fi movie. No, the secret has been right there, just below us, this whole time. We are literally talking about the Earth itself.
So, what is GeoCooling exactly? Well, it's actually a beautifully simple idea. Once you go down just a few meters, the ground holds this perfectly stable, cool temperature all year round. Kind of like a natural wine cellar, right? GeoCooling simply taps into that to cool our homes. And this is the most important part. It isn't making cold air, which takes a crazy amount of energy. It's just moving the heat from inside your house and putting it into the earth. That little difference, it changes everything. Okay, so how do we actually tap into that natural cool? Let's break down the anatomy of a GeoCooling system. The engineering behind this is, honestly, pretty fascinating. All right, this diagram shows you the whole shebang. It might look a little complicated, but don't worry, we're going to walk through it. See, it all starts deep underground with these things called geoprobes. You can see them here, the red and blue loops. They pull that stable, cool temperature from the earth up to a heat pump. Then, that pump transfers the coolness into your home, maybe through pipes in the floor or walls. It's all one big, continuous loop of heat exchange. And get this, it's about 8 times more efficient than your standard AC. Crazy, right? So it all begins with that connection to the earth, these vertical geoprobes. Just picture these super long, U-shaped pipes buried way deep underground. A simple fluid, pretty much just water with some additives, circulates through them. So the warm fluid from your house goes down, and as it does, it just sheds all that heat into the cool earth. By the time it makes its way back up, it's been naturally chilled, and it's ready to go to work cooling your home. Okay, next up, we have the real heart of the system, the heat pump. Now, its job is simple, but totally brilliant. It grabs the heat from inside your house and just transfers it into that fluid that's heading underground. And again, this is key. It's just moving the heat that's already there. It's not trying to fight physics and create cold out of thin air. And that is the secret sauce to its amazing efficiency.
And finally, how do you actually feel this coolness? That's where radiant delivery comes in. Instead of a noisy fan blowing cold air around, this chilled water circulates silently through pipes in your floors or your walls or even the ceiling. Those surfaces then just radiate a gentle coolness. It lowers the room's temperature without any noise or drafts. It's a way more comfortable, pleasant kind of cool.
Now, there is one key technical challenge here, and it's something called the dew point. Think about how a cold glass of iced tea gets all wet on the outside on a humid day. Well, the same thing could technically happen to your cool floor or wall if you're not careful. That's why modern systems have smart humidity controls built right in to make sure your walls don't start sweating. It's totally a solved problem, but it's a really important detail to get right. But of course, you can't just go drilling deep holes in the ground wherever you feel like it. This is a serious piece of engineering, and it comes with some really important rules. Rules that are there to protect one of our most vital natural resources.
And here's why that matters so much. When you drill that deep, you're often passing through aquifers. Those are the underground layers of rock that hold our water. So all the regulations are basically designed to make absolutely sure that the drilling doesn't contaminate our precious groundwater or mess up the natural flow between those layers.
So how do you manage that? Well, let's look at a really great example from a region in Italy. They've mapped out their entire province into different zones. If you're in a low-risk green zone, standard drilling is okay. But in a more complex yellow zone, where you might have multiple layers of water underground, the drill has to have a protective casing to keep them from mixing. And then you have the red zones, which are super critical for drinking water. There, drilling is strictly forbidden below a certain depth. It's a really smart, risk-based way to do things.
The core idea is just common sense, right? The level of precaution you take matches the level of environmental risk. It's all about balancing innovation with protection.
Okay, this all sounds fantastic in theory, but what does it actually take to get one of these systems installed?
Let's walk through the whole process, from the initial plan to the final payoff.
The process is actually pretty straightforward. First, a technician comes out to check if your site is suitable and figure out your heating and cooling needs. Next, an engineer designs the system and handles all the permits. Remember those color-coded zones we talked about? After that, it's time for the installation itself. The drilling, putting in the probes, and connecting the heat pump. And finally, and this is a big one, you file for government incentives like tax credits, which can really help with the upfront cost.
And now we get to the payoff. Why go through all this trouble? Because a GeoCooling system can be up to 8 times more energy efficient than a typical air conditioner. I mean, that is a massive difference. We're talking huge savings for the planet and for your wallet.
And that incredible efficiency translates directly into a much smaller carbon footprint. We're talking about cutting your CO2 emissions by up to 75%. Think about it like this. For every 4 tons of CO2 a clunky old system spits out, GeoCooling only produces 1. That's a game changer. And look, this isn't just us talking. The experts in the field back this up completely. Adrian Altenberger, who heads up the Institute for Building Technology and Energy at Lucerne University, he puts it very simply. GeoCooling is just much more energy efficient than classic air conditioning systems. It's proven tech with real, measurable benefits.
So all of this leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about, doesn't it? As the world keeps getting warmer, and we're all searching for smarter, more sustainable ways to live, could it be that one of the best solutions has been hiding right beneath our feet this whole time, just waiting for us to figure it out?